Hello, my name is Gina Van Opens, and you're at GVO's Magic Kitchen. Today we're going to make pasta fagioli soup. My neighbors, they come over because they look forward to my cooking. I'm a self-taught chef, so keep that in mind as you're listening to this recipe for pasta fagioli soup. So what I'm going to start with is about a cup of matchstick carrots, which you can get at the produce department because don't mess with cutting them anyway. Plus then I have about 2/3 of a cup of peas. Sweet peas is what I prefer. And bay leaf that I've grown myself. And I also have about a half a cup of parsley that will go probably near the end of the shoot. And check this out. This is called a shallot. A shallot is the cross between garlic and an onion, and that's been in my magic sauce for a lot of years. And I've cut some up over here. I've got some pre-cut shallots and 2 cloves of garlic. I'm also going to be adding some cannellini beans and also some red beans that you can have them in a hot sauce. I am using a medium sauce today, but just so you know what it looks like, that's what they look like. I keep this one in the sauce. The cannellini beans are drained. So I like to start everything with a roux. And how I do my roux is I put in like a couple of tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and also some butter. And the reason I use butter is because it has a fat that gives it a richness to the sauce, to the roux actually. And it makes it very, well, buttery. And I will top this all off with a finely shredded Parmesan. And I always put ditalini in the soup as well. And if it doesn't, with the chili sauce, if it doesn't taste tomato-ish enough, I will add diced tomatoes. And in this case, I have a basil, garlic, and oregano tomatoes on the side because sometimes it's good enough just the way it is. So we'll get started here. So you start out with a medium heat, maybe a little bit medium high, and you want to put the carrots in first because the carrots are the hardest thing to soften up, especially when you're making a soup. So because I'm kind of impatient, so I'll goose it up a little bit and just wait and sing a song, the singing chef, all night long. Just kidding. I like to sing when I'm waiting for, the water to boil or, stuff to get ready. But so then I throw the carrots in because they're the ones that take the longest. And my cooking devices. So you want to start these. Another magic ingredient that I use is white pepper. People don't truly understand how good white pepper is. And it soaks in really well with carrots. So I'm going to put a little bit of, couple shakes of ground white pepper. And then you'll start to get the aroma, which is already fabulous. And the butter helps break down those carrots really well, along with the olive oil. And you kind of mix differently, but it breaks down the carrots pretty well. And then once the carrots are getting caramelized and kind of happy, that's when we're going to want to put in the shallots, and then the garlic would go last because that cooks faster than everything else. So you give this a couple of minutes or so, and then I'll turn it down like I explained. You can hear it sizzling. And you can smell the white pepper. Oh, it's so good. People don't realize white pepper is kind of a secret ingredient. It soaks in quite well with carrots, actually. So if you have like things you need to feed your children, sneak in some butter and white pepper might help your case. Having raised like almost 6 children, I got a few tricks up my sleeve. Hence Gina's Magic Kitchen. All right, so this is coming along quite well. So what I'm going to do next is turn the heat down a little bit here. It's kind of like medium high. Then I'm going to add the shallots like I was explaining. And the shallot I showed you, this one, this is considered a medium shallot. I used one that was a little bit smaller than this, just because you never know if people are not that keen on having, you know, the onion flavor, but it's really kind of a mellow taste. So now this is coming along with the shallot. I'm just stirring it around. Oh, you can smell that white pepper. It smells so good. And my next is, and I'm going to add in my 2 cloves of garlic. I'm a huge fan of garlic. So get that in there. I think the famous chefs call this a roux. It's Gina's roux for me. But, and you get that base. Oh my gosh, you can smell the white pepper. Oh, it just smells wonderful. All right, now while that's getting along, some of the things that I forgot to mention is the fact that I have opened up and drained some canna lily beans. And I also, like I mentioned earlier, the chili beans, and I keep it in the sauce. And like I mentioned earlier, it was a medium sauce because when you make a pasta fagioli soup, some people ask for like a tomato flavor. Sometimes the chili beans that have sauce with them could suffice. So we're gonna start adding some of these ingredients here. I want my peas that were frozen to kind of get into the party. So we're gonna drop those in. And you just brown them up and it will absorb the shallot and all of the flavors. And then it will kind of mix well. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. I have some more secret ingredients, but we're going to wait to the end of the party to tell you all. All right, so this is where I mix in the canna lily beans. Now that the peas look like they've become more translucent. Remember, the canna lily beans have been drained. Smells so good. Personally, I don't add salt to my soups because I always leave that up to the person who's going to eat the soup if they want pepper, well, except for the white pepper, but the salt and pepper. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to add in medium chili beans in their sauce. One of my secret ingredients. Now, some people put pinto beans. Today, I'm not going to put those in there. As you can hear, they're starting to mesh. And oh, this smells so good. I have set aside some water after I put the bay leaf in. Two liters. And we'll let that get going. I'm going to goose it up a bit to medium high. I'm rethinking I should have had a bigger pan, but we'll work. We'll make it do. So as that gets up to temperature, is the ditalini. I use like a medium ditalini, and sometimes I have everything, you know, shipped in from Sicily, but you know, make do with what you got. But one of my favorite ingredients, now when this starts to get up higher, which I'm going to goose it up a bit, I have this thing that's called Dato Delicato that's been shipped in from Sicily. It is a really amazing bouillon, and I use 2, and sadly, it's less of that, but I will put that in the soup so that it can get going. This is seriously one of my secret ingredients because it gives it an umami flavor that's beyond chicken soup. It's so good. Now sometimes I break it up beforehand, but we're gonna let it get. The key thing about making soup though is that you have to keep stirring. It's like a good pasta sauce. Just keep stirring. And oh my gosh, the smells are so good. And this bay leaf I just cut before we started filming. This is, I always have like I call him Groot. He's like my bay leaf plant. And I'm telling you, people ask me to bring them bay leaves because it's so good. They don't understand. It's not even just the bay leaf. It's, I'm telling you. Now, this stuff is awesome. All right, well, we're waiting for this to get up to boiling. What I'm going to do next is I will put in, after this comes to a boil, I'm going to put in the ditalini pasta, and since this is for about 4 servings, it's going to be about 1.5 cups of ditalini, and then when you're almost done, you're going to throw in the parsley and then Parmesan, and I get a finely chopped Parmesan. And you can see it's not like the Kraft kind. It is very finely chopped, and it gets really well. And then people can have the option to put that in their soup when they sit down to enjoy the goodness. Since no one wanted to watch water boil or soup boil, as it may be, we're getting to the point where we're going to add the ditalini pasta. And as I mentioned, for 4 people, 1.5 cups, maybe 1 3/4 cups, depending on how stewy you want to make it, depending on how many beans you use too. I've already preset the pasta to go, and this will take about 10 to 11 minutes, depending on the type of noodle you use. They have smaller, like ditalini, but I prefer the bigger ones because it just tastes meatier. So we're gonna add that in, and in about 11 minutes, we'll have goodness. And one of the things I forgot to mention again, I want to make sure that everyone got to see that this is the Dato Delicato bouillon cube, because this stuff is awesome. And I want to make sure everyone knows. And then at the very end, as you recall, I am going to put in, I had to take it down a notch, just because I didn't want it to boil over, but we'll put in parsley, finely cut parsley that came from my parsley bush, and then top it off with my finely Parmesan. Now that it's been cooking for 10 to 11 minutes, I'm going to turn this down to simmer, and I'm going to, oh, and while you were away, I made a roll to go with it. It's just a take and bake roll from the local grocery store. So as this is cooling down and I'm not tempted to burn my face off, I'm going to show you what it looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to ladle it up so it's nice and pretty. And this is where we add fresh parsley and the finely grated Parmesan. And everyone is like very excited to try it. I'm so excited to share my Pasta Fajole recipe with you. Can't wait to dig in, but don't want to burn my mouth. Bon appetit, everyone. So now that it's cooling down, I have to taste it. This is why I leave stuff on the side. It needs a little more Parmesan, a little more parsley, and pepper. I'm a big pepper fan. I can taste that white pepper in the carrots. I'm telling you. It's so good. Party in the mouth. I hope you come back to watch us again as part of GVo's Magic Kitchen. Have a good day. Thank you.